Yeah, I teased you there with the title, didn't I? What was Christopher Columbus? Well, he wasn't English or Welsh, in spite of what some people I've met seem to think, nor was he the founder of the United States of America, as some kids I spoke to some time ago said. Some basic information then. He was Italian, a citizen of the Republic of Genoa. He was an explorer and became a colonizer. He worked for the monarchs of Spain, who were Catholic, and he completed 4 voyages across the Atlantic Ocean. Despite what some people have been told, he wasn't trying to discover the New World when he sailed westward in 1492. He was trying to reach Japan, but instead he landed on an island in the Bahamas. Columbus Day, a national holiday in many parts of the United States, celebrated as Dia de la Raza in many Latin American countries, meaning Day of the Race, celebrated in Spain and also in his native Italy, a celebrated man. Many myths surround his adventures, so-called adventures in the New World. But yeah, not everyone has bought the bullshit or drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. See International Day of Solidarity with Indigenous People, established almost a quarter of a century ago now. Christopher Columbus, this revered figure in some circles, was a terrorist, a thief, a slave master, an agent of tyranny and destruction. When he first came into contact with indigenous people of the Americas, the New World, from his European perspective, Columbus had this to say, quote, "They do not bear arms, and do not know them, for I showed them a sword. They took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They would make fine servants. With 50 men we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want." End quote. The man was involved in slavery and degradation of indigenous peoples. He was clearly in it for personal gain, the accumulation of personal wealth and power. He made a deal with the Spanish crown. Yeah, but I don't believe gold was the only thing that motivated Mr. Columbus. He was a man of God. Yeah, quote, "No one should fear to undertake any task in the name of our Saviour, if it is just, and if the intention is purely for his holy service." End quote. A holy man and therefore a good man, right? Apparently there's a 48-page report only found about 10 years ago, or rediscovered, a historical document in the state archives of the city of Valladolid, probably mispronounced that horribly, in Spain. The report says Columbus once had a man's ears and nose cut off, and had him sold into slavery for the heinous crime of stealing corn. And again, according to the report, Columbus's brother Bartholomew made a woman parade through the streets naked, and when she suggested Christopher Columbus was of lowly birth, Bartholomew had her tongue cut out of her mouth. Christopher congratulated his sibling for defending the family. Columbus and his brothers were arrested and put in prison when they came back to Spain from their 3rd voyage, but they were released after a few weeks, wealth and freedom restored, and the King and Queen of Spain agreed to fund his 4th and, as it turned out, final voyage, but they didn't let him be a governor again. Columbus died in 1506 in Valladolid. His first famous voyage in 1492 wasn't his first time at sea. He worked for the Portuguese crown, sailing along the coast of West Africa, picking up slaves. Columbus was reputedly the first to introduce black slaves to the New World, Hispaniola, or the Dominican Republic as it's known today. He even once said, "One African slave is equal to 4 Indians." The destruction and the wiping out of indigenous peoples in the Americas through tyranny and through the spread of diseases brought from Europe, this is well known in scholarly circles. There's still a lively debate regarding how many Native Americans there were living before the 1490s. Estimates vary, but there seems to be no disputing the fact that indigenous American life and the civilizations, the tribes, the peoples that lived there before the 1490s have almost entirely been wiped out. Some civilizations, peoples, tribes have been entirely wiped out. Yeah. Cultures destroyed, peoples destroyed. It's possible that over 100 million human beings were destroyed in the course of European conquest, colonization, takeover.